It's like that's like my ultimate like Hollywood dream come
Like you
true.
made it, country. You're like this is all I've ever wanted.
Exactly.
Couple
live right above
supercars,
the-
comedy
right
access
above the
above
comedy
glory.
store.
I'm a simple guy, just a house in the hills, 4 supercars, and knowing the guy that works at the, yeah, exactly.
Those are
Yeah.
really the best.
Like I swear to God, I'm a humble dude. Like I really, really am. But like, yeah, no, this is so far beyond anything that I ever thought that I would be able to achieve.
Telling you, man, it's
So
fucking incredible.
there's not a day that goes by that I don't wake up and like
Appreciate
holy
shit.
shit. Like really? All
Telling
right,
you. Let's go, baby.
don't fuck this up.
This is the Supercar Connection podcast, bringing you behind-the-scenes conversations from across the industry. If you love supercars, you're in the right place. So let's hit it. Today we're sitting down with Michael Knapp. He's the president of MDS Energy Development, an oil and gas production company, and the founder of LongTail Rally, a 9-day exotic car rally that provides the perfect combination of thrill and chill. We joined Michael in his home in the Hollywood Hills to discuss his supercar experience, why he started LongTail Rally, and ultimately what sets it apart from all the rest. Hope you enjoy.
We shot the first 2 longtails on like really high-end red cameras and the whole bit, professional team that does like a bunch of stuff for McLaren and Lamborghini and PRI and all that stuff. Driveline Studios, they were absolutely fantastic. But we cut it. It was basically like a memento
Right.
for the people that went on the rally. This is like, don't worry about recording everything. Like, we got you. Like, we got Ted and Sindri, and, they're going to do the photos. Like, we got you. So just, you can live in the moment.
Right. Without having to worry about fucking...
Exactly. You don't have to worry about, recording every little thing. So, but for now, for this last one, we cut it with a lot more about the people. Because if you've ever been on a rally, you learn within the first day or two, sometimes within the first hour. Like, when the first one that we ever did, the amount of anxiety was just absolutely through the roof of like, who's actually going to show up? Like,
Right.
Cause we were all brand new. And there's a lot of these rallies that, like, are not to anybody's detriment, but are like kind of put on by high school kids. And, it's like, I'm not going to write, a $15,000 check to, some high school kid that's never done this before. So like,
Right.
we're trying to, differentiate ourselves and, get it out there that, we've done this before. We're a little bit more older, a little more experienced in doing these kind of things. But, I completely lost my train of thought. You'll have that with me. The point of it all is that, the people, that's what we were talking about. We're talking about the people. With the first day that we did the first event, it was at Laguna Beach at the Surf and Sand. And we'd never met any of these people. So, like, all of these, connections with a lot of these people were just on social media, DMs or text messages or whatever. And it's like, and some of the stuff was pretty wild. So it's like, what are these people going to be like? And within the first hour, like, if you would have walked by, you would have thought it was like a 20-year high school reunion. Like, these people were just instantly instantly connected. Because you're all car people. You've all, done something in life.
Right. To be able to fucking do what you're doing, you have to.
To be able to be doing that. So, there's no, like, pomp and circumstance. You don't have to, like, be, flexing or this, that, whatever. Like, we're all here. Like, everybody's here for a reason. Everybody's cool. Like, you kind of, like, immediately get past all of that. And then you realize, there's all these amazing people. And they start talking and telling each other stories and stuff like that. And you realize that, this guy hears a story. You switch out 3 parts. It's the exact same story that I had, or, like, oh man, I can remember being 19 years old and, having no money and, like because race car, it's like, it's like you could add something like completely nice and reliable, but like, where are we?
Right.
Yeah, I have some shit box that, makes 500 horsepower, 400 horsepower, whatever, but 50% chance it starts every morning.
Right.
So, we've all lived that life and, a lot of us took a pause from that. To develop our careers or families or this, that, or whatever, and that's kind of how I got into the rally thing. A good friend of mine, a college buddy of mine, his name's John White, back in Pittsburgh, called me up. We did all kinds of ratchet shit when we were kids. Whenever we were doing our thing back then, but like I said, we got away from it for a little bit. But he called me up. He's like, "Hey, I just bought this Porsche 911. It's got some stuff done to it. It was a rocket ship." And he's like, I'm doing this exotic car rally. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, it's like, 5 or 6 days on the road, everything's kind of planned out, this, that, whatever. And I was like, that sounds, amazing. Like rocketing down the road with like 70 other supercars. So that was actually Ace Spade Rally in 2018. Flew back to Pittsburgh for that, did all that, and immediately fell in love. I was like, this is...
It bit you, the bug fucking
Oh, the
bit
bug
your ass.
absolutely bit me. It was the funnest thing, just, cruising into town with, 60, 70, 80 cars. We had DDE with us at the time, so that was a whole other level of, fan experience, we'll call it. I mean, everywhere we went, there was like 2,000 people, waiting for us to, pull into some random pizza spot because they'd kind of advertised it ahead of time and everything. And I mean, it's like, when you're just first getting into the supercar world, like, this is amazing.
This is shit.
This is shit.
Yeah.
Like, how could you possibly have more fucking fun,
Right.
with a car doing this?
Yeah.
So within 2 weeks of getting back from that, I'd ridden in Buddy Denny's 650 Spider. So within 2 weeks, I was like, yeah, I got to get a McLaren. I was like, because I'm a turbo guy. I had the DSM growing up, so I was like, I wanted something turbo. McLaren's obviously, a crazy name. And, no hate against any of the other car companies, but there's a very different lines between each of the ownership kind of experiences there.
Fuck yeah.
The Porsche, there were the Porsche guys were really cool. The Lamborghini guys and the Ferrari guys. I have one of each, so I can't. No hate again.
Right.
But those guys were more than happy to stand in the parking lot and let everybody tell them how cool their cars were and this and that, whatever.
Just like stroke the ego.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
very stroking ego.
and like the McLaren guys
have
were
a
all
Ferrari,
like,
man.
fuck that shit. Like, let's go to the bar and get a beer and talk about the next track day we're doing. And I was like,
These are my people.
Those are my people.
That's my crew.
Those
All
are my
right.
people, And I mean, just a little bit of turbo lag and, just reminded me of, the DSM growing up and everything. So it was a no-brainer. Like I said, 2 weeks later, I absolutely could not afford it at the time.
But fuck it, race car, baby.
Fuck it, race car. The only thing that mattered was they proved the loan. So,
yeah,
it's like,
fuck it.
oh, that's dumb motherfucker.
We'll figure the rest out on the back end.
We'll figure, nothing else matters. They're going to give me the car. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Get the car in the garage, and we'll
figure it out
later.
from there. I'm
We'll
telling
make
you.
moves.
Very much so.
Exactly.
That's where we are.
Exactly. So I flew out to Philadelphia, picked it up. I mean, it was like a Saturday. So I was like, everything has to be perfect because, if something's wrong with the bank or this, that, they're not going to be able to fix it. So, with a lot of trepidation, flew out there, got the car. And then I had a, 350-mile drive from Philadelphia back to Pittsburgh. That was, I promise you, the best drive I've ever had in my life.
I can imagine.
Just, popping the top on that thing. I mean, like every 20 minutes, I'm like in tears.
Right.
Just like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
This was 2018.
This would have been, actually, I think this was 2019. No, I don't know, 2018, 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Shame shit.
So we go from 2019. You're buying a 650S Spider.
Yeah.
And you say you couldn't even really afford it, but you'll figure it out later. Now we've got a 765. We still have the 650S, VF Perf, Ferrari FF,
Yes.
Bentley GT,
Yes.
convertible, GTC.
Caterham 7. Shout out to Ted who talked me into that. Like, I have a lot of really bad friends that always sending me bring a trailer links. And
Right.
It's just like, hey man,
You
you don't have
motherfucker,
my
yeah.
best interest at heart.
I don't know.
So you're not helping me out here. But no, I got one of those. Haven't really got to drive it yet because we got to put a bigger pan or a deeper pan in it. So I'm not fat guy in a little car. And then I bought the 1G DSM, a particularly egregious buddy, Jay Boogie, one of the guys that comes on our rally.
Nice,
I
nice.
said something. I was like, "Oh man, I'd love to get one of these." And 5 seconds later, it's like, "Oh, here's a freaking trailer link." I was like, "You son of
You fucking bastard.
you bastard!"
I love it. 'Cause that's how Gavin and I are. I can show you our messages. Literally, all we do is send car guru links back and forth to each
Yeah.
other. Like, do it, motherfucker. Do it. Please do it.
That's how you show love.
That's what I'm telling you. Push each other.
Exactly.
But like you said, not having your best interest at heart by any fucking means.
Yeah. But so moreover on that 2018 Ace Spade Rally, there were some longer driving days, which I mean are great. Like, I don't mind them. But you get enough of them in a row.
What is a longer driving day? Like 6 hours, 8 hours?
Anything over 6 hours is going to wear people out.
Oh, for sure.
I've been
I
on
would
some
imagine.
rallies. We've done Gold Rush Rally where some of the routes were 10, 11, 12-hour driving days. And some other rallies, I'm not just saying them specifically, but a lot of the rallies are kind of have this mentality of like, this is a trek. Like, this is something that you were like trying to accomplish. Like, this is going to be something we're going to overcome.
Over the hump type
Yeah.
shit.
It's like
And,
a marathon.
spending 15 to 25 grand on something that's like an accomplishment. Like, wow, that sucked, but we made it. Like, didn't really seem like, what we wanted to do, especially after you've done a couple of them.
Right.
There's invariably a group of people that are kind of standing off to the side that are like, man, this would be great. Like, if we didn't have to wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow to get our, luggage on the luggage truck.
Right.
Man, this would be great if, we could, actually get a breakfast. Like, because, we might have hit a little bit hard last night, and be able to, or if, you're, working remotely, it's like, it would be great if we had a couple hours in the morning where I could get my emails off, this, that, or whatever, so we looked at all those people, and when I see something like that, I have this just awful entrepreneurial bug that's just like, oh, do it, like, it's like if someone's not doing this, like, just do it yourself.
Right. Do the shit better than it's
just,
already fucking being done.
Well, better, it's all a matter of taste. We call ourselves the chill rally, so we're way more laid back and relaxed. So I kind of looked at it as, when do you get kicked out of a hotel? Like 10 a.m. When can you check in? 4 p.m. So you've got 6 hours right there. Like, why don't you make that your drive time? So for the first couple rallies, we weren't leaving until 10 or 11 a.m. So you could sleep in, this, that, whatever. We kept the drives, tried to keep it in the 4 to 6 hours. Sometimes you got to go a little bit over to get to the next place, that has a nice hotel. But we kind of just toned it down a little bit. And that worked really good for the first couple of years. And then we're kind of like, we realized, it's really about the people. Like, we want to give people more time to actually enjoy this experience. Because, these rallies are amazing experiences. But, you go back from one and it's like, oh, you went to all these places. And it's like, well, we drove through them.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to say what mile an hour.
Yeah,
But,
drove through them fast.
we made our way through in an expeditious manner to the point where we really weren't able to stop and take pictures. So, and you kind of realize this, and it's like, you're missing so much out. So if you could just kind of tone this down a little bit, this would be an amazing experience. So from last year and what we're going to be doing in the future is every place that we go that's of note. Sometimes there's a place where you just kind of have to spend a night just to be able to reposition yourself for the next day. Mm-hmm. But for all the big places that we're going, we're going to stay 2 nights. So, because a lot of these other rallies, you get there, you roll in at 8 o'clock at night, 8, 9 o'clock at night sometimes. You stuff some food in your face because you're famished, take a shower, maybe drink a beer or two at the bar, and because you've got to be up at 6 a.m. to go drive another 10 hours the next day in an uncomfortable ass fucking McLaren or something like that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound all that fun.
I know,
it doesn't sound all that fun. And it really is, a triumph, for, to do, the original spirit of it obviously is kind of the Cannonball Run, 3,000, 2,500 miles, whatever it is from, New York to LA.
Which is fucking wild.
Yeah, exactly. The guys that do that, I have all the respect in the world for that. It's an interesting passion.
Very much so.
I'm a little bit too much laid back for that.
The LongTail Rally is it's like the 4 seasons of rallies.
Yeah, with like a Rastafari kind of like, maybe just chill, like I'm anywhere I'm at, like I'm in shorts and flip flops. Like if it requires different dress like code, then I'm seriously thinking about really I need to be at this thing. Yeah, what kind of people are going to be here? But it's we dialed it back, and so now you get to a place you can actually unpack your bag. And like, okay, we're going to be here for 2 nights, and then so you can have fun that night, not have to worry about getting up early and trying to drive in the morning. So if you're with your girl, she wants to do a spa day, this amazing place that we're at, because you go to these places that they're $1,000 a night, and you get there at 9 o'clock, pass out, and then you're gone at 6. It's like we may as well have stayed at a Motel 6.
Right.
Yeah,
It
would have made no difference to the experience.
Yeah,
in our reality. So like let these people enjoy, these amazing places we're taking them to, and it gives you more time for fun stuff.
Yes, very much so.
So 4 to 6 hours every other day in a supercar for 9 days, I think is plenty. So for this, the one that we've got in 2024 going on, we're starting in New York City, in Manhattan. Which is going to be interesting, to have your all 40 supercars in Manhattan is going to be fun.
It's going to be pretty cool.
So everybody gets in Friday night, No pressure, nothing really going on that night. Get into town, hang out, meet some buddies, whatever. Saturday, you've got a full day in the city, to do whatever you want, your photo ops, you want to do this, you do that, You're a West Coast guy, you got your car in, the Big Apple, you can probably find some cool stuff to get into.
Your Bilcos, your typicals,
Exactly.
The whole nine.
Yeah, so giving everybody the full day in New York City to just screw around, do whatever they want to do. Then we're going to we rented out a big ass yacht, and we're going to do a private like sunset dinner water tour for everybody for the kickoff party.
That's awesome.
Then we're going to launch the next day. We're going to hoof it down to Pittsburgh, which is home sweet home.
Right.
So we're going to kick it up a notch in Pittsburgh for sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a Pittsburgh International Raceway, which is a great track. Unfortunately, a group of Ducati owners beat us to it that day. So they've got the main track. So we're going to do a full GP style go-kart race. So these are like 50-mile-an-hour go-karts. So they're like not
The
like
fun
the
ones.
full-on crazy shifter, two-stroke
Right.
things, but they're definitely above, the normal bullshit, you put your kids in. So they're going to do a full GP style. So where there's a practice, then there's qualifying, and then there's an actual race.
Holy
So we're going to go through everybody in their alley. Everybody's going to have the ability to go through that whole process, and ultimately we're going to,
Get
put in a
bragging
little
rights
bit
and
of some bragging rights and some competition into it, since
I
it's
love
not
it.
technically a race,
Right.
And we would never say that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, exactly. So there's no brownie points for that. So you have get it out of your system there. So that'll be a really fun day. And then in the evening, we've rented out PNC Park, which is where the Pirates play. So they do a program there where we'll actually be taking batting practice the same way that the Pirates do. Which, if you're not familiar, I'm not a big baseball guy, but like PNC Park in Pittsburgh is like the most beautiful stadium like in all of baseball. So just like it opens up to the city, and it's just awesome. So we'll do that, and like a dinner. So that'll be our dinner event that night.
It's gonna be fucking
so we'll
incredible,
display all the cars and like do like all sorts of cool stuff. We'll have full control over the audio visual, so we can put whatever we want up on the billboard and whatever we want on the audio. So
This is day 2.
What could possibly go wrong? This is day 2.
Day 2.
Yeah.
Okay,
day
2 days in, and you already got all that shit
Exactly.
jam-packed. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
So after that, we go down to Greenbrier, which is in West Virginia, up in the mountains. It's an 11,000 acre property out in the middle of nowhere, but it's like this old money, like from like the 1800s resort where presidents from like the 1920s and stuff like that. I think like 26 presidents or some crazy shit like that have all stayed there. But you can do whatever you want, from shooting sporting clays or fly fishing or going off-roading. They've got like slingshots that you can rent, like golf, tennis, this, that, like it's a full whatever you want. So you've got a full day to do whatever you want there. And then the interesting thing about this place is back in, I think, the 1940s or 50s, they built a secret underground bunker there that was supposed to house all of Congress if there was a nuclear attack. So they like kept it up for decades to like house hundreds of people, like all completely secretly on the edge of this like resort. Then like in the 90s, I guess some reporter figured it out and like blew the top on it. So then they, obviously couldn't use it anymore.
Right.
So now it's part of the attraction. So we'll do a tour of that.
If everything else wasn't enough, there's also a bunker.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which, I mean, it's kind of like this Cold War relic, but
right.
So I don't know exactly how that's going to go. I'm assuming it's going to be cool. It's
Nothing
not
like
really
a Cold War relic,
Not really car related, but we try and just do cool stuff.
Yeah, you drove there.
What's the coolest thing we can do whenever we're at one of the places we're stopped at? So we're 2 days there. Then we go down. We'll have one night at a casino in Cherokee, North Carolina. Which is actually kind of serendipitous, because on the 2018 Ace Spade Rally, we went there, and it was very, very drunkenly in a pool where we decided, me and my buddy John was like, we could do this ourselves. We ought to do our own rally, And so, going back to that, is going to be
Full circle.
going to be 100% going full circle. So that'll be cool, and we'll have a casino night. A lot of the people seem to have pretty late night casino nights at some of the other things that we've done. So
It's a very work hard, play hard type.
Yeah, that's
that'll
a
be
common.
fun.
It feels like a common theme.
Yeah, very
exactly.
much so.
For that crew.
But the point of that is it sets us up perfectly and stages us to do a Tail of the Dragon in the morning. Which are you guys familiar with that at all?
Fucking absolutely not. I'm not.
Cool. So the Tail of the Dragon,
Basically,
it's
Angeles Crest Highway of the other side of the country.
Oh shit.
it's 318 turns over 11 miles, I think it is. It's supposed to be the most extreme driving road in North America. It's super, super popular with the guys on bikes, but definitely something that the guys in the cars. So have you ever done Latigo Canyon, I would presume?
No, I haven't done
Never
that.
done Latigo? We'll take you on Latigo
I think
sometime up in Malibu.
I think
Have
we
I?
did when we
Maybe I have. I just don't know the names of it.
Up in the Malibu canyons.
we went down.
Then yes,
we
I've
went
done
down
that.
it.
Yeah,
We went
okay.
down it after the car meet.
Got it.
Gotcha.
I just don't know the technical names for
That road that was tight and twisty was.
Well, that's where I was going. It's the Tail of the Dragon, super tight and twisty. And if you're passenger, we'll see how that goes. Because I was passenger in John's 911, which was it was a bigger car with a little bit of body roll, and you feel every bit of it because you're truly setting up for the next corner before you're even out of the corner that you're in.
You're trying to apex and everything. Between
100%.
And being passenger-
it's super tight.
Being passenger is just trash in that situation to begin with, because you don't feel like when you're driving, you can feel like the traction of the car, but when you're just sitting in the passenger seat, not getting any of the feedback, you feel like you're just about to go off the side of the road.
Any fucking moment, it's just gonna fucking.
And you're just like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I trust him. I guess he's feeling it. He feels that we're good. He's
Probably
not
not
pushing it
gonna
too
die.
hard.
Yeah.
But
But
it's like, how much did he drink last night? Like what time? What time
I've
did he
definitely
go
been
to bed?
passenger and been like, I think I like driving.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. And some of the wives and girlfriends, unbelievable.
can't
For
imagine.
being able
For real.
to get through some of that,
real
because
fucking
I don't think
badass.
I could honestly do it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't trust me. I mean, I guess they're dumb enough to trust us with this stuff. Like, oh, we know we're.
I think
doing
my
it.
wife would like make me drop her off somewhere before going up.
Yeah, absolutely.
doing
Well,
that.
and actually, as part of that, we are going to be doing a direct route. So we're going to get like either rent a plane or do some sort of something for anybody that doesn't want to be a passenger can head on directly to the next stop, which will be Nashville.
I was gonna be bitching.
Yeah. So, you were talking about Bert Kreischer earlier, and Tom Segura, which if you guys are watching this, call me. But
Call the both of us, please.
yes, exactly. So we're actually talking with. I shouldn't name the company, but it's an energy drink that you would probably be familiar with, and we're talking with them about potentially bringing someone on to drive one of their cars in the rally with one of their athletes. And I was like, how amazing would it be if we got like a Bert or a Tom to ride shotgun
as
with
the
Max
athlete?
Verstappen. I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But let's maybe not Max.
Because Tom's an athlete. For the people watching at home, Tom just fucking. He's a huge basketball guy.
Yeah,
Huge basketball guy.
exactly. So, and my personal weight loss
Probably not
success
Max.
story. Like that's like if Tom can do it, I can do it. It's not working yet, but any day, Tom. But imagine that one of those guys riding shotgun in like a carpool karaoke-ish kind of thing. But like, we're gonna do an interview while I'm just ripping in like a rally car or something like that through
That'd be
this.
fucking incredible.
That would be good content.
Hell yeah.
That's what it's about right now. Good
yeah.
content. So
Good content.
So come on. Red Bull. Let's on the contract.
Let's
do this.
make it happen.
Let's
You heard
do
it here
this. Come
first.
on.
Yeah,
That
as
would
soon
be
as you
amazing.
said one of their cars and one of their athletes, I'm like, that's
did it right there.
it's Red Bull. Yeah, that narrows it down. You didn't even have to say anything.
So
Who else has cars
pulling
and
for it.
athletes?
It'll be amazing. Somebody write a letter, on our behalf, and we'll
And
get
their
that.
social media is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
They really is, and they're dumping a lot of funds in that and keeping that shit going. Their marketing team's
It's a
going
beautiful
crazy.
thing.
Absolutely.
Well,
Just
notice
stepping the game up.
you never see a single can on their page.
Anywhere.
It's all just crazy stunts and crazy everything all day long.
Like, who has that job? Like, who has the job of, like, I'm going to wake in the morning and, like, have an unlimited budget to just, like, wake up and be like, what's your job description? Come up with the dopest shit that anybody's ever fucking thought of.
For me, it's like who
let's
gave
do
that person the fucking that ability? Who was like we're gonna give somebody the creative power to just fucking rebrand everything, but not use anything of our product, anything that actually simulates what we are. Let's just do the craziest shit ever to just subconsciously build that into our fucking product.
Exactly.
I don't know how
Exactly.
someone comes up with that shit in the first place.
Well, I mean, whenever you probably takes 5 cents to make one of those things and they sell it for $4, like, what else are they going to do with their money? Like,
No, very much so.
They
roll
make
it back
great
into
money.
marketing.
Yeah.
And
And they're-
God bless them for doing it.
Worldwide.
Yes, very much
so.
so.
That helps too.
That's gonna be a hell of a full circle thing you pull that off, especially with you being so into comedy too. Are you kidding me?
That would be
In a supercar, on a rally, with some of the biggest comedy fucking hosts ever.
that would be my dream come true.
Fuck, that's fucking incredible, dude.
So let's make it happen.
Yeah,
You guys, you know,
we'll
you got
blow
the
this
pull.
thing.
You know, just
No,
you know,
100%.
make the calls, and we'll get it done.
We'll put this shit. We'll make that shit. We'll blow it up. We'll fucking tag Red Bull, everything in between. We'll make shit happen. We'll make shit happen.
For sure.
Absolutely.
But I'm quite sure. And as funny as it is, before I bought the 765, of course I watched every single YouTube video
Right.
that existed. Every review, car wow, this, that, blah blah blah, every drag race, everything. And like when I was like scraping the very bottom of the barrel on YouTube, there was this thing that like Tom put up, and I was like, is Tom Segura reviewing supercars now? like, are my worlds colliding right now? Like, what is going on? But I watched it. Like, yeah, I guess he's a huge McLaren guy. So
Huge fucking McLaren guy.
like LongTail Rally, Tom. Like, come on, let's do it.
What year was the first year for Longtail?
The first year was 2020 or 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
So 2, 3. This will be the.
So it'll be our fourth big
Fourth
actual
round
thing. Yeah.
All right. You want the clip? Here you go. If you could bring anyone with you on a rally, who would it be?
Alive or dead, or like
No,
we go
alive.
alive.
If you bring anyone along with you on Longtail Rally, ripping in supercars this year, alive, who would you want to bring on and ride passenger with? We'll have them.
I mean, all my gods are comedy people. So like, I think I already let the cat out of the bag. I think it's got to be like Bert or Tom or somebody like that. And just, I mean, those are the guys that are my heroes. I mean,
Right.
Because they say the things that we're all not supposed to say, and kind
all
of keep
thinking
it
and shit
real.
like that.
Yeah, exactly. They're saying out loud what we're all thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was always the demented class clown, and just do anything for a laugh kind of person. And those guys, the fact that in this world we live in with Netflix and YouTube, it used to be HBO was kind of like the one who said like you're big or you're not, because if you got your 1 hour HBO special,
You were them.
you were them.
It's
exactly. I mean, your success was how many HBO specials have you done? Now Netflix has kind of figured out like, wait a minute, these guys have amazing content. They're out there giving it away for free. Well, not for free, but
Right.
but basically, from a production standpoint, for free every night. Like, we could just throw some cameras in there one of those nights. Boom, we've got a 1 hour special,
and blow this fucking thing up.
and blow it up. Exactly.
So get in here and tag Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer
Please.
Yep.
over and over and over again until they come on Longtail Rally.
Yep.
Exactly.
Make
Bert can ride with
Mike's
you.
dream.
Tom can ride with you. The other one ride with me, and
Exactly.
we'll go fucking crazy.
Exactly.
We'll
Yeah,
go
put the
fucking-
two big guys in
Yes,
the one car.
100%.
I see what you do. Yeah,
Yes.
sandbagging it. I get it.
I got to.
Then he's,
Hey, we'll need all the help I can get. but no, I mean, so then we're gonna wrap things up in Nashville. We've got a couple pretty cool ideas that we're kicking around there. That's kind of still in the stew, mixing up. But yeah, so that's your 9 days. It's a heck of a time commitment. We don't factor a huge kind of profit into it. We would like to get to the point where it's self-sustaining.
Right.
As we bring on more sponsors and bigger sponsors, I think we'll be able to do that. But I'm a marketing guy. That's what I went to school for. That's what I did it, for my corporate job for many, many years. And, it was very important to me to be able to go to those guys, and before I ever ask anything from them, it's very awkward for me to ever ask something of anybody else if I haven't provided something of value
Right.
first.
A fair exchange of value.
Exactly. So you're like, let me prove to you that that we're doing something real, we're doing something cool, people are legitimately buying into it, and we can actually give you a return on your investment. So what do they say? It takes 3 to 4 years for any business to really kind of become profitable and take off and become self-sustaining. So this is year 4. Hopefully we'll be able to get there this year. And, the more resources that we get, the cooler it will become. I will always promise you that. We don't want to make money off of this or anything like that. We just want to have amazing stories, just getting to watch people, come together.
Building a community.
Exactly.
Literally.
In a little way. Yeah, for sure. And some of the people that you realize, are the best of friends now, that their lives are completely intertwined, that, it's like brother from another mother kind of thing. And they, in all likelihood, would have never met each other if it wasn't for, this goofy little thing that we put together. Like, I mean, it's And I mean, I'm sure you guys have felt it too with what you guys are doing, you know?
Absolutely.
I mean, to, you know, when you make those connections, I mean, like, you know, what else is there about? I mean, you know, there's these cars and you can have one supercar, you could have 10 supercars, you could have 50 supercars, you know, you could have hypercars, this, that, whatever, you know. At the end of the day, like, all that really matters is, are you happy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
And, you know,
Getting around these like-minded people. I mean, it's like you're into cars, you love cars, and you've been successful enough to where you can own some of these things. That's why so many of these guys go to all these meets and they go to these drives and these rallies, because then you get around these people that are like-minded. They love cars. Like, we like the same things. We're into the same things. And, you know, we can hang kind of thing.
Well, it kind of sets the prerequisites, if you will. You know, if there's somebody that's into cars and are into rallying and are in, like, there's like a 98% chance that, like, you're going to be cool.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, like,
you're not going to be
everything,
an absolute
like, all the,
loser. No,
whatever
fuck
the other
no.
particulars are.
Right.
You know, we got this and we're going to bond over that.
I can
And-
work with this at least. Type
Exactly.
shit. Yeah. The other shit we'll see,
Exactly.
but I can
It's
at
like,
least give me this to work with.
I can play my odds at the parent loop, or I can go on the rally and, like, meet 40 people that I know I'm going to click with.
Exactly.
Very
You know,
much
and
so.
that Rolodex, you know, because the other half of that equation is, you know, yeah, you're into cars, but what do you really do? You know,
Yep.
you know, there's people that, you know, you go on our group chat, you know, it's like if I have a problem with something, like the first thing that I think of is I'm going to go in the group chat and just be like, hey, you know, I'm having some sort of issue with this. And it seems like almost invariably there's somebody that pops out of the group chat like, oh, yeah, like, you know, I've got a guy for that. Or I know somebody that has that hookup or connection or this, that, or whatever, whether it be in life or in business or in anything, you know, just to, you know, have this like connected network of people that like legitimately have your back for all the right reasons, you know.
Very
because-
rare to find people like that.
Yeah, you know, because I mean, those people, you know, all the people that come on our rally are people that will give you the shirt off their back happily, you know, to be able to help you out with something. So, you know, they're people that have come on the rally that, you know, have formed businesses together, that are, you know, expanding their businesses, or, you know, just, you know, I need a smog guy.
Right. I don't know why you.
You know, to get the best rate.
Right, of course, yes.
Right.
We're always
right,
trying to
on
get the best
smog.
deals.
Yes,
over here.
the best
trying
deal.
to be economically, you know, sensible.
Of course,
here.
always.
Yeah.
Inflation has run these smog guys.
No, really, it's what it's called.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Exactly. So you get what I'm saying. You know, there's, you know, this amazing ability to just solve problems on this, like, I don't want to call it a VIP level because that sounds douchey, but like, you know, people that are like at the top of whatever field that you need, like, yeah, I've got a guy for that.
Right.
And, you know, and you can fix problems that way. And
How big is the long tail community? This group chat you're talking about. How
this
big
group
is it?
chat, probably a couple hundred people in it at this point.
Decent
You know,
size,
from
then.
the people that have gone out. You know,
Okay.
if you've been on it at any point in time, you know, you're still in the chat. You know, there's some people that, you know, post every day. There's some people that, you know, just kind of lurk, and, you know, if there's something that's, you know, pertains to them, they'll pop out of nowhere and be like, you know, this, that, or whatever. But, you know, there's a kind of a core group of people that share, you know, relatively disturbing memes and, you know, funny car stuff.
Sounds
you
like
know.
my kind of people.
Exactly.
We gotta get Joe in
And
this
then
group
there's
chat.
always the side group
like
chat
people.
for, you know, the really interesting stuff. Like,
Right.
maybe we don't share this with like the rest of the group chat.
This is
you
a
know.
direct message type of thing. This is
So,
not
like, you know, if I ever get killed, like, make sure you get my phone and delete that shit immediately. kind of
immediately.
thing.
This is the underbelly chat over here.
Exactly.
That's the chat I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Fuck the main.
Oh, I know.
That's a good
You'd be the
podcast.
ringleader of that
I
chat.
might be the ringleader of that shit.
Yeah.
For those of you guys that
What are you going to be driving this year on the
I'll be
LongTail
on the
Rally?
765.
765.
Hell
Yeah, I had the 650, and that was kind of the rally mule.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the 765 after not getting the allocation Newport Beach McLaren for the 765 Spider. Yeah, exactly. Shame, but so out of anger, I went and got a 760 coupe. That was probably way too expensive for what it was, marked up from, you know, because I bought it at the absolute wrong time, but I didn't care. Like, this
Fuck
is
it.
the car. Like, I
Absolutely.
mean, I had several friends that have had them, and they're like, that all had 720s and had Sennas, had P1s, had, you know, a lot of the full-on hypercar McLarens, and they're like, dude, like, the 765 destroys all of them. It's like they just let the engineers loose and we're just like, fucking go. And they're like, that's the only car that I need. Like, I don't drive my Senna anymore. I don't drive my P1 anymore. Like, this is, you know, this is it.
It's everything I
Go
want.
fucking get it. So I went and I got it, and I swore that I would never take it on a rally. I'm going to keep the miles low on it. Right. I'm not going to beat the shit out of it. I'm going to truly appreciate this marvel of automotive engineering.
That shit died.
So that lasted about 2 weeks. On the rally in 22, we were on the leg from Tahoe to, where were we going? Salt Lake City. And I got a flat tire in the middle of freaking nowhere, Winnemucca, Nevada. If you're in Winnemucca, Nevada, give this a like, because we fully explored Winnemucca, Nevada. Got a tow truck that came out, picked us up. The guy tried to not charge us. I was like, dude, I never thought I'd tow a McLaren. I was like, so I paid him double what, I was like, dude, you're awesome. Thank you so much for this. So we get back, we're waiting for a tire. Or actually, excuse me, no, we weren't waiting for a tire. We were waiting for the tire guy. X-Comp is our tire sponsor. And they had a tire that didn't exactly fit, but like technically could kind of fit.
Right.
On the tire truck. They bring a tire truck. Since then, every year they bring one with every single tire stock for whatever's on the rally. So at least if you need a tire,
they have it.
We have it.
Well thought out.
Exactly. Okay, extremely well thought out.
Exactly. So thanks to them for that. It's a really, really great perk of being on the rally, because it's a guarantee that you'll never get a flat. Having one there for you. So long story short, this guy has to drive 4 hours back from wherever he was to put this tire on at a shop. And it didn't quite fit. Like, it was like full rubber band, like stretched onto the rim. And it was about 10 miles out of town that I got the flat. And so we made it literally to the point where we'd made it. And I'm like, all right, we're on positive mileage now. We made it past the point where I broke down, and literally within 2 seconds, so we broke down the exact same spot with another flat tire. Had to call the tow truck driver back and be like, hey, man, I broke down again. He's like, where are you at? Literally the exact same place. So he came and picked the car up. At that time, I was over it. My girlfriend, Julie, was driving my A6, or S6, rather. And she was with me. I was like, I'm just going to ride with you. We'll leave the car, leave the 650 in Winnemucca. I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully it'll be here by the time we get back. But we made it to Salt Lake City, and I didn't tell anybody. And I just kind of disappeared, booked like a 5 a.m. flight from Salt Lake City back to LA. And I was like, I'm going to get the 765, and I'm going to catch up with the rally, which the next stop was Vail, which is 1,000 miles from LA to Vail. So I got here at like probably 10:30, 11, or whatever the time was. I think actually probably earlier than that. But Julie had parked her car right behind where the 765 was. So her friend and I had we had like a quarter of an inch on either side. Where it's like I was able to back the car out around her car and get out. And then I drove 1,000 miles without stopping, other than for gas and 5-hour energies to catch up with the rest of the rally. So 1,000 miles straight burn.
You mean Red Bulls?
Not even Red Bulls, dude. No. Like, it was full.
Until
there
was a couple of those. They're fucking 5-hour energies.
Exactly. Until they agree it's monster. They were monsters.
Exactly. We're all monster
energy. White monsters.
White monsters.
Exactly. So
get bit by the white monster.
So just trucked it, and I got in, and the first person that I saw when I got there was Will, and he's like, Mike,
how fitting.
Like, what are you doing in a is that your 765? And I was like, where have you been? Like, wasn't that in California? I was like, did you drive 1,000 straight miles to get here? Like, I couldn't move, dude. Like, that was the most fucked up I've ever been in my life. And I've tried to get to higher levels. Like, it's not from a lack of trying, but just being on an empty stomach and caffeine, driving that 1,000 miles, I could barely stand, and I would not recommend anybody ever do that.
That is fucking insane. So let me get this straight. Your 650 broke down to the point where you literally said, fuck it, I'm going to leave it in this middle of nowhere town in Utah.
Yep. Got
a flight to LA, hopped in the 765, drove 1,000 miles just to be a part of this fucking rally again.
Just to catch back up with it, yeah.
That is fucking, you're built different, Mike.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
You are built different.
I promise.
Is he him?
Are you kidding me?
It's stupidity. It's not from a place of resilience. It's from a, this won't be that bad. But I had the, I forget what state it was, but it was out in the middle of nowhere, and there were full tanks of gas that I burned through with the cruise control set at 160.
Timothy Chalamet over here.
Honestly, kudos to fucking the 765 for withstanding that shit. I would think
ate it up. It didn't miss a beat. It couldn't have cared.
You were cruise control 160?
Yeah.
What did that feel like? After 5 minutes of 160? Yeah.
It was pretty intense.
That's fucking incredible.
Pretty intense. But no, caught up with the rest of the rally. got a good full night's sleep. Just to be a prick. Alex Choi did the exact same thing the same night. He was having problems. He had the twin turbo Huracan, which I still think it's is one of the cars he's running. But he decided halfway through the rally, like, yeah, I'm gonna go. So he did the exact same thing, like 4 hours behind me, and I'm in his Huracan. And so we both drove from LA to Vail, straight bullshit, straight shot. I remember I was like, I finally got to sleep at like 4:30 in the morning, and then I hear, and I was like, oh my god, that's Alex Choi. I was like, and now I can't get back to sleep.
That is crazy.
But
cannot believe that.
Fun stories, man. I mean, there's just all these things. It just you come back from them with just the funnest stories, the funnest people.
Things that only can happen on a rally. Driving supercars across the country from spot to spot.
And I mean, the funnest part of it, to be honest with you, is watching everybody else's reaction to it. Like when you're out in the middle of nowhere in like Wyoming or Montana or something like that, and you're like one of those little towns where there's basically one gas station, like one stoplight or whatever, and you roll in there with like 40 supercars, and the people are just like, I mean, they stop, like the entire town stops.
The car value
to come and
more
than the town, exactly.
Like we saw a Corvette here once.
Yeah, one time.
And now we've got
it was a C4.
Exactly.
What am I looking at?
Like, exactly. So
got a LA Cars and Coffee just rolling through here.
And the best part is
have a cop on a horse shit himself type thing.
And the best part is that these people walk up to us assuming that we're going to be the biggest group of douchebags on the face of the planet, like, which is probably well deserved. But you come up to that crowd and they're like, do you think we can just like look at the cars? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm like, can we take a picture? It's like, no, you can't take a picture, but get in the car, like here, have your kid, like sit in the car, rev it, this, that, whatever, and just watching, like the dad come to you and be like, listen, like, I know you didn't have to do that, like, you made my kid's life. Like, you don't know what cars mean to him. He's only ever seen these on the video games that he plays. And, like, he will never, ever forget this. And, like, get a little misty. And then we get a little misty. And then it's like, and that's where the real fun of it comes.
He won't ever forget it.
So, man, supercars are life, man. They really are.
Yeah. When done appropriately and for non-douchey reasons, it's a ton of fun. To be out there just, kind of, spurring the next generation of this stuff, I mean, because we all had something that happened like that to us when we were kids, and to be able to kind of, pay it forward and, is really special.
Let me ask you this. How does one get, if let's say they want to attend the LongTail Rally, what does that process look like?
Just submit an application. We do look through a little bit just to kind of keep the people that are more about themselves than,
the rest
of us. We kind of, there have been people that we have said, I don't think this is really the right event for you. I think if you come, honestly, you're not going to have a good time because you'll kind of immediately be ostracized by everybody else because, like, if you're not chill and you're not cool, like, you're not going to fit in.
Right,
so
100%.
it's not, I could have you come, I could take your money, but, like, I don't, it's not going to be a good deal for anybody.
Right.
And I'd rather just not that person be there.
Sounds like my type of rally.
No, 100%.
I gotta say.
Yeah, 100%. And at that point, too,
I'm in for the bougie rally, not the, like, we did it.
Right, no.
We drove 38,000 hours.
For me, it just your style LongTail Rally, it just clicks more. It makes it literally seem to the point where, like, why the fuck did this not exist from the beginning?
Yeah.
It just makes more sense like that.
I want to drive my supercar, stop, shoot some clay pigeons for the day.
Yep, exactly.
Dude, it's just about maximizing fun. These things are supposed to be fun. Forget about all the, the other bullshit that comes with it. Like, at the end of the day, these are toys. These are instruments to manifest happiness.
Yes.
And if you're worried about, this guy's faster than me, or, this guy's got a cooler this or that, or this guy's trying to flex, I mean, you lose a lot of it. I mean, to me at least. I mean, it's not a status symbol. I mean, it's just purely an instrument for fun and joy.
Absolutely. You get lost in that. I feel like that's kind of what goes on, especially the younger generation. They get so caught up in, like, that image, and they're like, they fuck off everything that they started the whole journey with, and they're like, I just want this so that people can see me and they can see me doing these things so I can promote myself, X, Y, and Z, for whatever fucking intrinsic reason they have for doing the shit that they do.
Just let me say this real quick.
Hit me.
If you don't mind. If you're listening or watching, just close your eyes. Unless you're driving, don't close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Close your eyes, you're driving.
Imagine ripping a McLaren for 3-4 hours with 50 other supercars, You're mobbing. Everyone's having a good time. You got the windows rolled down. You're looking back and forth at the homies driving other supercars. You get to your destination, some luxury resort. You roll out of your supercar, go change in your room, go back down. Now you're playing paintball, fly fishing, golfing, whatever your thing is. Chilling, have a great dinner, talk to a bunch of cool people. Next day, back in the supercar, same thing, all over again.
Absolutely. It's a
Like, can you now open your eyes and tell me that wasn't just like the most amazing little visualization?
That's the most beautiful thing that you've ever said.
I want to be a part of this.
Same. Likewise.
well.
When
I
I can-
think
when
we're
I-
gonna have you guys on, and a little birdie just happened to whisper a little something in my ear about somebody on the channel getting potentially a new supercar, or
Yeah.
is that
No, yeah, so-
we're gonna have to edit that out, or
Yeah, so I finally got my loan approval, guys. So by the time this comes out, I think I'm gonna have my McLaren 720, and I'm not gonna get rid of the Ferrari quite yet. It's still up for sale, so if anyone wants to get rid of it, but I'm gonna have that as well too. So we'll see what happens. I appreciate that very much. I
beautiful. Beautiful thing.
cannot. You have no idea how excited I am. Like it's the point where I think the last 3 nights I've slept a couple hours solely because I spent 3-4 hours just on YouTube, just watching shit to the point where I can't even fucking fall asleep.
You've seen every 720S video on the internet,
Oh
haven't
my
you?
god! I've been on the forums looking at every fucking problem the car has, everything that needs to go into the maintenance, when I need to change the oil, when I need to do this. I'm so ready. I'm overly ready for this.
Yeah. No, the 720 is an amazing platform. I mean, it really is. Like we were talking about earlier, like I didn't have very, very little seat time in a 720. Really, it wasn't a heat-soaked 720 out at Thermal when Pirelli was doing an event out there. I was like one of the last guys to take a rip in it. And I mean, it was like, it had enough. And it was like, this was like not super duper inspiring, but like platform that it is. You put a downpipe and a tune on that thing.
That's what I want to do.
You're running with a 765.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do.
That's what I did with the 650. Downpipe and a tune on. That's really all you need to do these cars. And it kind of sucks because like I'm a tinkerer. Like we all built shit growing up, and like I feel like such like a poser being like, oh yeah, like I did a tune. Like I don't know anything about the engine of my car. Like I pay somebody to do a tune and a downpipe on it. But like
to go like this on my
opens it
shit.
up.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly. But I mean, to get like another 150 horsepower or 100 horsepower, whatever you get out of that, depending on how you tune it.
When
like,
you're already cranking 720.
Exactly.
Like I think people, especially nowadays, like people get so obsessive with this fucking tuner culture where people want 1,000, 1,300 horsepower. I'm like, first off, you can't even fucking put that power down. Second off, there's nowhere here, especially where we live, to use that fucking power. You get a 720S downpipe tune, push 800. You don't need anything else. You maximize that, and plus you don't get too crazy where the car might break down. You have different things. That's like the perfect middle ground.
Exactly.
So everything works out. Mm-hmm. That's the setup.
Like I mean, the handling,
the whole nine.
I mean, it's just, it's everything. Like you don't have to fuck with it. Like
you're getting worked up, Mike.
You can drive it to a car show. You can drive it on a 3,000-mile rally. You can take it to a track day and then drive it to work the next day if you had to. Like it's just the amount of engineering and it does everything so well. I mean, it doesn't do anything perfectly. You could build something, to beat it in one of those aspects. But, for a guy like me that, I don't have enough time to, barely be able to enjoy the cars anyways, to be able to just, roll downstairs, hop in the thing, go, not think about it. You change the oil on it, you do your annual maintenance, whatever. I mean, it's a couple grand, but it's not like it used to be back in the day where like owning a supercar was truly painful.
Yeah.
Where you had like, what was it, like the old
Engine
Ferraris with the
services
belts,
and-
before they switched over the chains, and it was like every like 10,000 miles they'd pull the engine and like replace this, replace that. Yeah, like 20 grand or something like that, and then, and it was the joke back when I was a kid. It was like, you could buy a supercar and like none of them had more than 1,000 miles on it because nobody ever drove them.
Exactly. You buy that car, it sits, and now we're in this fucking thing. I see 720s with 50,000 miles on them. People are pushing those things like fucking crazy.
And that's why there's so many supercars on the amount of supercars that are just on the road and the amount of people buying supercars because they're comfortable. You can daily most supercars. And like you said, with the maintenance is just a whole different game.
Exactly.
You're not messing with like clutches that go every 20,000 miles.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
If you're Will, then you're fucking.
Well, if you're Will, then exactly.
Yeah,
You're definitely doing your clutch again every 20 minutes. But yeah, I mean, and especially with the depreciation, like you said, you can get into an R8, you can get into an MP412C. You can get into, I guess not a 458 anymore, but you can get into
458
something.
will just
that's
keep going
just
up.
keep
That's my biggest fucking problem right now mentally, because in all reality I do want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of that car because I'm doing some real estate now that I'm going to use that funds for that. So but I know I'm sitting here knowing that the second I get rid of that car, it's just it's a ticking time bomb to where that shit spikes, and I'm gonna be sitting here, I'm like, I really fucking had one, kind of like you're saying with the fucking Supra.
Yeah.
When my full circle comes back around, I'll probably end up paying $500,000 for another 458, because in all reality, that being not only my first supercar, I fucking love that car.
Yeah.
That driving experience, it's very hard to replicate that shit. So I know, like, when I get to my final point, I want one in the garage, and I have one now, and I'm gonna fucking get rid of it just so I can get back in one later, and I'm gonna be pissed.
I don't think it's going to be a spike.
You
You
don't
will
think so?
look up in like 4 years, and it'll be a lot more, but it will have been a climb. I think they're just gonna.
I don't know. Think about it. The last naturally aspirated Ferrari V8, man.
It's gonna go up.
I don't know.
I'm
man.
not
It might-
saying it's
it
not.
might
I just
fucking
don't think it's
spike,
just
man.
going to be like overnight one day. It's like, oh, these jump from 300 to 400.
They didn't make a lot of them, so I kind of feel you. But I'd be surprised if I think like.
But no, they will.
4
They will
years-
continue to just go up. I think if anyone that buys one and has it for 2 years is not going to lose money,
No.
even if they drive it.
I can't argue with that.
That would be my guess. Because they'll
We just need some of that juju for the FF.
Just get
Come on,
super-
baby.
yeah,
Come on,
go.
baby.
Let's
Come on,
go.
baby. Go up a little bit.
that the FF is such a unique. I actually. He knows. I'm a big fan of like the FF and the GTC for Lusso platform, because I mean it's just like, as a concept, you've got a naturally aspirated Ferrari V12 car, and you can bring 3 people in it with you,
Yeah.
and have a golf clubs in the back or something like that. Like that car is crazy.
It really is. For what it is, it's absolutely nutty. But I think it's kind of in that weird area of like, is it the best of both worlds? Or is it like, giving up just too
Or is it-
much
it's
that
a
it's
little
not the
stupid,
greatest, at anything?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I
Master
mean,
of
if
none.
you're using it for what it was truly intended for, like, I mean, almost like the Huracan, or not the Huracan, the Urus.
Urus, yes.
That is, because that is aimed at every Lamborghini, every guy that wants to get a Lamborghini, but his wife's like, there's no way you're going to get a Lamborghini. You're going to drive it once a month. Well, hey, babe, no, I can get one now.
Yeah.
It's totally, practical.
The kids
I
can
can
sit in the
drive it
back,
every day. The
the whole
kids can
nine,
sit in
yeah.
the back. That was kind of, I think what they were
Which
aiming
is fucking
at.
genius by them in all reality too. Because even this, I have a feeling. Again, this is just all fucking speculation, but I have a feeling they built that car for the housewife. In all reality, they built that car for the housewife.
They built California.
100%. Yes,
Urus?
exactly.
You're talking about the Urus.
I'm talking about the Urus. They built that car. Well, not only because what the angle he said, but to a point. You think about the way the car puts power down, the way that they configured it specifically to the point where it's so plug and play that anybody can drive it. They put that so that you have a guy who's killing it, has his Huracan or his fucking Aventador, and it's like, well, what about mine? It's like, perfect, I'll get the Urus for you. And then now it becomes a family SUV that she drives to pick the kids up from school type shit. That's the real market for that car.
That too, yeah.
The Urus is like,
You heard it here first.
I don't think there's any car that conflicts me more than the Urus.
Conflicts you in what aspect?
Dude, I'm back and forth on the Urus all the
I am
time.
too.
I see the Urus on the road, and I'm like, damn, like that would be sick to have one
Yeah,
of
that's
those.
my
Like,
same
it's
problem.
such an awesome car.
Like, I hate it when
The
I think
space.
about it, but then
Like-
I see one, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Like, think about the space. Think about what you get, because that's the whole thing. I feel like so many people shit on
then
it.
I'm like,
it
oh,
just-
but it's such a cash grab. Like,
yeah,
It is.
Like if the
Ferrari-
RSQ8 didn't like exist and
Yeah.
the same exact
Right,
thing,
exactly.
arguably nicer for
Very much
like
so.
$100,000 less, or
Yep.
if we got an
Easily.
actual like Lamborghini per Sangue, where it's like from the ground up, this is a Lamborghini. I think it would have been. They could have made it so ridiculously sick, and like it's great that it's still cool, even though that it's what it is. Like I still see them on the road, and especially the new like Performantes and the Urus S's. The slight redesign of the front end was like necessary. They look so much better.
absolutely.
But I see that car now, and I'm just like, especially like a matte black one. It turns me on a little bit, and then I think about everything else, the RSQ8 side of things and everything like that. I'm like, man, they could have done so much more still.
Exactly. And I mean, like the rub on that is like, I'm pretty sure on the Bentley downstairs, it's almost the same drivetrain. It's
Yeah.
the
I think
same
it is as well.
V8 that comes out of the, so they're doing the whole corporate, we're sharing costs across, which, I get it. These things have to be profitable for them to continue to sell them. So
and
you
it's
know,
been
I can
profitable.
get it, but
Yeah, no, it's true because automotive people don't realize too. A lot of automotive makers make their money a lot on fucking selling parts to an existing fleet too. So by them fucking spreading it across multiple vehicles, it literally just grows the fleet of vehicles that the parts service. Less parts have actual volume to create, and literally just profit margin skyrockets.
Yeah.
For game, people don't know how car manufacturers make a lot bulk of their money. They don't really make a lot on the car sales, which they do. Not saying it like that because I'm gonna get. If we clip that. That fucking's gonna get quoted like a motherfucker. People are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But no, they make
the
a
good
lot of
thing
money.
is,
on
you
that.
know who
that's
clips it,
true,
so.
though. That's true. Though.
Yeah, even though Gavin fucks me so much.
I got a
but it's
question
fine.
for you.
Shoot.
This is just a situational question. You're going on a rally, LongTail Rally. You can get the keys to any car ever. Mm-hmm. What are you picking?
Any car ever. Gosh.
Any car ever to take on the
That really
LongTail
opens the
Rally.
gate.
I mean, you know, if you're going to go crazy like that, I mean, I could endure some pretty uncomfortable cars for a long period of time. So, I mean, you know, you go out, you know, like
That's the
McLaren.
point of-
I'll take a McLaren F1 GTR on a 1,000-mile rally. I don't give a shit. Like, the coolest car I think that we've had, and this is a shout out to Carl Brower. He brought one of the new Ford GTs on the rally.
Fuck me.
I'm pretty sure it might have been 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
But he switched. I could be wrong about that, but at least for 1 year, he brought that thing and put a solid like 1,800 miles on it in a week.
Got balls.
And yeah. So
Respect.
they at the end of the rally, the documentary guys asked everybody that question, like, if you could switch with any car on the rally, what would it be? And every single person was like, yeah, the new Ford GT.
Fucking
Which
incredible.
I mean, I love it. I mean, I wish they would have put a V8 in it,
Thank you.
but
That's all I fucking ask. If
I think
we're
a lot
gonna
of
pay
people
them,
feel that way.
So
I know,
here-
but
You just
still,
reacted like no one's saying
well,
that.
no, it's not even that. It's just the fact that like it fucking amazes me that that's the way they decided to build that fucking car. How do you get a car that looks like that and they're like V6?
Yeah.
That shit it kills me inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look back at the old Ford GT. I mean, you remember when that came out? Like, I mean, it was lamented, like the build quality on it, and like everybody was like, they're like people are pulling them apart, and there's like like pieces of cardboard and shit, like his body panel spacers and stuff like
race car.
that, and
Yeah.
exactly, but now, I mean, like. Which would you rather have? One of the newer ones with the 6, or forgetting resale value? What do you think from pure driving experience? The manual, supercharged V8 versus the new with the paddle shifters. I'm sure one's faster than the other, but from pure driving experience, which
Can I
do
be
you
real
think
with
you'd
you?
have more fun in?
My problem is I'm a fucking princess, and I'm a grown man, so I'll fucking say this. I'm taking the new one just because I like all the bells and whistles.
Mm-hmm.
The old one does give a little nostalgia, and it's fucking incredible just for the machine it is. But I'm 100% taking the new one, even though it's got the fucking V6 in it, because I'm a princess. That's the only reason why. Because besides that, I fucking hate everything else about it.
Yeah.
Even though one of our boys just got one too, and shout out to Kevin because he's fucking that shit he got is incredible. But I'm taking the new one.
Yeah.
Are you
I'm
taking
also
the
a
one?
princess, so
Yeah,
yeah.
Princess Gang.
I'm gonna take the video game car.
I tell you what, drive your 720 for 6 months, and that once you scratch that itch, of having the fully automated experience,
Right.
Not taking anything away from it. I mean, it's amazing what these things can do. But just from a visceral level, I tell you, we were on our way back from. I can't remember. We were on our way back from some event, but one of the guys, it wasn't a rally thing, but one of our participants, Robert Bistain, he brought a 05 GT on the rally, but he bought another one that was like a higher spec. I don't know what it was, but we were driving back. I think it was an event at the Peterson or something, and I didn't see him behind me, and he came up and just ripped and blew past me because he saw, and I'm just like, like full on, it's just like it was just angry, and I was just like, oh man, I don't think I could take the new one over that. It was like that,
I respect
that
it.
exact
No, I
emotion of
respect
that. That was a moment, and I was like, nah, I got to.
Because you have that memory to correlate to that car.
Yeah.
So for you, it fucking sticks in your brain.
I remember the first one I saw.
Tell us a story.
Like, we were going somewhere, and we pull up to this like strip mall, going to some store or something like that, and there's a black one with white stripes parked way out. And this was back when they were like brand new. And we were just like, what is this? And walked up and saw the Ford badge. And it's like, what? This is a Ford? And like we like walked around it and we're looking at it because it was just parked out
You're
by
talking
itself
the
at
new
the
one?
strip mall. No, the old
one.
Yeah, like when I was a kid.
Oh, fuck.
Like seeing seeing a Ford GT for the first time at the strip mall, random strip mall.
Where was this at?
It was crazy. Somewhere outside, like Austin area.
This is in Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Fuck me.
And it was just like, we were just, me and my brother were walking around and just marveling at the Ford GT.
But remember what the competition was at the time. Like, I think the Viper pretty much ruled the roost back then, right? And they were doing like 0 to 6. I can distinctly remember. I forget which Viper model it was, but it was a Motor Trend tested like 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, or no, 3.9, and it was like the first one to break like the 4.0 0 to 60 time, and it was like people were like, "Holy shit!
That's
I can't
crazy.
believe there's a road going car that can do 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds." Now, in today's day and age, if you're not under 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, like
you're slow.
What are you even doing?
3 seconds, 3 seconds clean is low key, kind of slow.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy to say.
Yeah.
That if you're not 2.9 and dialed under, you're like, is your shit really that fast?
Pretty much. I mean, with the Performante downstairs, Ted Seven, the photographer, we were just happened to be having dinner one night, and he happened to be showing me the pictures that he took that day, and it's this like black on black perf with like a little bit of red, and I'm just like, that's exactly how I would have done it. And so it's got to be a supercharger, and I was like, that's exactly how I would have done it, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, this is Nick at VF's personal car. And he's selling it. So I like immediately called him. I was like, dude, I want your car. I'm selling it to me.
Yeah.
So I bought it immediately. But like they, because it was like the mule for all the, Instagram people or whoever, you want to drive one of our cars, go out and beat the shit out of this one.
Right.
So they, I think it was Motor Trend or somebody did it 2.2, 0 to 60.
Fuck me.
And like that is...
That platform too, the Performante with a VF on it is fucking amazing, because we actually got the opportunity. One of my buddies has one as well, and we got the opportunity to rip that thing. That thing, for it being supercharged, the way that it puts power down is very fucking unique, because you don't feel a lot of it low end, which you would normally do on a supercharged setup, which is incredible. Because when we first drove it, I was literally expecting to feel all at once, and I was like, this is gonna be too much car.
Yep.
But it's almost like you get, I don't want to say like the daily drivable aspect of it, but you get like that, I could do this often, and then as you get up in RPMs, which you would think on a supercharger is not when you would feel it,
dying off,
then all of a sudden you fucking start feeling it. That shit was incredible. Do you remember when we got to drive that Performante?
Yeah, and it's like you could drive it so easily. Like even if I compare like that Performante to like the C7 Z06, like the C7 Z06 is like challenging to keep in check.
Fuck yeah, especially
that
in first
VF,
gear,
you could turn your brain off and drive it, no problem. It wasn't like super sensitive where you're like, I'm gonna kill myself.
Literally.
Now on a rear wheel drive only, I would be interested to see what that would be
like the STO.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very much so.
To see one of those with a blower on it, but I mean, you give up nothing in reliability. Which is, I mean,
think about that.
To just bolt on an additional 200 horsepower. The entire way through the band, you're not giving up anything. Like everybody that gets out of that car says, like, this is how Lamborghini should have made it. Like,
exactly, it should come out like that. Exactly,
because I mean, like a stock Huracan, like, I mean, in today's day and age, like, I mean,
think about
I hate to be hating, but like, what you're saying right now. I know.
Think about what you're saying. We live in a world now where a stock Huracan is kind of like, this is kind of dog shit. So
it's kind of not that impressive. Yeah, I mean, you got to do something a little more than that.
It's crazy. And again, it goes back to like just the car culture we live in today. That just it gets to a point where not even the fucking stock version of these cars are enough.
Yeah,
you have to get it, and you have to do crazy shit to it to even stay. I mean, this now if you want to go to like the imagery side of it.
Yeah,
to even stay relative, that you have to have something that's cranking out ridiculous numbers.
Well, you jump out of a Huracan and you jump in a 720, which you can get 720s cheaper than Huracans today, and it's like that's going to be. It's not even going to keep up.
How is your, like, what is your, I guess, how do I ask this? Your not your ownership specific with the 765, but is there anything specific that you do on your 765 in terms of like upkeep and maintenance that keep it so bulletproof, or your experience of it being bulletproof?
I drive it.
That's the key.
Everybody that I've ever had that has McLaren, and we obviously run across a lot of them, being kind of a pseudo McLaren centric rally. The people that drive them and drive them a lot have no problems with them. It seems to be the people that just let them sit, or it sat for a while on a dealership lot, or this or that or whatever. I'm sure that there were some years that weren't quite as good as others, but I've been extremely lucky. The only thing I've ever had to replace on the 650, and I put over 30,000 miles on that, myself, beating the piss out of it everywhere I went.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to. But it took everything I could throw at it, like because I mean I grew up with cars that like you get on it, you're holding your breath every single time. Like,
I
how
go
much
home?
is this going to cost? And am I
Right.
walking home?
Right.
And so, it took a little bit of time to like realize like this thing is built to handle this, and then, I kept up on the maintenance with it, just the regular maintenance, but like anything that I've ever replaced on those cars has just been standard maintenance stuff.
Because now that I am going to become a McLaren connoisseur, right? That I'm switching teams officially, right? Mm-hmm. When you say drive the car, how often are you driving it on let's say per week basis?
Not as much as I used to once I got the Bentley, as we talked about earlier. That's
can't
so
fucking blame you.
comfortable.
Oh, yeah, I can't
And,
fucking blame
I'm not doing errands in the 765 anymore just to drive it for sure. But I mean, it probably gets, at least once a week.
At least.
Some spirited stuff.
And that's enough to keep, like you say, keep it alive, keep it driving.
So it's worked for
so
me.
far?
It's worked for me.
What year is that 765?
2021, I think. Maybe 2022.
Okay. The one that I'm looking at, it just depends if the fuckers want to make a deal or not, is a 2020 Performance. Mm-hmm. I have two in mind. I actually have a deal that's pretty much locked on a 19, but I want to see if I can make something happen with a 20 because it's the opportunity's there. Mm-hmm. So I'm just curious to see exactly the year and how much of 19, because I know 18 is like fucking do not touch type shit. Exactly. Yeah. Well. Intercoolers, everything between. I don't want to fucking.
Well, they're a new car
pipes,
company. They're outsourcing a lot of the stuff. Working on their supply chain, and obviously they had issues with the Gorilla Glass.
They're
Fucking
British.
trust me, and that's the whole thing.
It's-
I can't. The two that I'm looking don't have the carbon roof. They have the Gorilla Glass. But I'm like, fuck it. I'll deal with the Gorilla Glass if I get everything else that I want. Type shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where I'm at. Right
And
now.
they're British.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is, people don't realize is McLaren's one of the only, I guess you want to call like supercar manufacturers that give less a fuck about their mass production of the car, and they care more about just the pure or like in terms of like their F1 team and their track team, they care about that side of the game 10 times more than they give about everything else.
Well, I mean, how cool is it too to have a car company that specifically spawned from an F1 team?
Literally, exactly.
This
That's
is
the whole
not
thing.
like, and I guess you could kind of say the same for Ferrari, but I mean, that's
In a fucking different way.
In a different world.
Exactly. Long time ago.
Well,
Long time ago.
to be like,
Today it's a
like
car.
we
Yes.
build race cars. Now we're going to try and make road cars. Is way different than, we're going to make a road car and try and like put some, race car shit on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
McLaren does not sell a California.
Fuck no. their California's at 650, and that shit cranks like a motherfucker, I imagine.
So, the way I look at McLarens, and I've never purchased one brand new. I should lead off with that. I kind of look at them as like a boat. Like, let somebody else be the first owner.
Absolutely.
Let somebody else put a couple thousand miles on it. Let them kind of work out some, if there's
Yes.
kinks or this or that or whatever,
Let it
pick
get
it up
maintenance
with
service, figure out what's wrong with this one.
If you
It's
let them
dialed in,
flex the weak
give me that
links,
bitch.
let that shit get fixed, let them update some of the stuff, and then, pick it up, maybe a year or two used or 3 or 4 years used, whatever it may be, with, somewhere between, 5 and 15,000 miles on it. And,
That's where I'm at right now, baby. That's
that's the smartest thing you can do. I mean, if you want to get into a McLaren, I think that's the smartest way to do it.
That's exactly how I'm doing it.
And to be honest with you, I had a 600 LT with a tune on it. If I had to only do one car and it was only one McLaren, I think it would honestly be a 600 LT with a tune on it.
I love it. I love it. They say, well, that car is a fucking rough car. It's raw. That's the rawest McLaren they make. Or
It
at
is,
least in terms
and
of
it kind of disappointed me that some of that rawness didn't come over onto the 765 because you don't get the the downshift bangs and
I don't know if the 765 with that much power would fucking could you handle all that rawness? Like I think a part of the thing is the beautiful combination of like the weight plus the power and the way it puts it down on that 600 that you can almost handle that much rawness. But on a 765, I think it's fucking overkill. Are you kidding me? I don't think.
Well, I mean, I don't think it would be hard to get a 600 to run with this a 760.
not at all.
Kind of with a little bit of aftermarket shit. The big place where there's the big upgrade there is the suspension. I mean, having that hydraulic suspension, and I mean, when you put it in soft mode, like you can drive around LA and like it's pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Like you put it in full race mode, like it'll rattle your teeth out of your skull.
You're feeling every
blow the accumulators in a 650 and drive it around for a couple of days when it's basically like in default race mode, and you're like, okay, like I really understand, because I was one of those. I just kind of leave it in sport and not really even think about it. But then you get out here when some of these roads, I mean, if you're going to drive it as much, because you got to drive it 30 miles to meet up with somebody to do a canyon run, up here, there, that, or whatever, to be able to like have it be a comfortable journey, like from A to B, you know, and then you can just, you know, flip the switch and turn it into just like a fucking monster.
Yeah,
like,
piss missile, absolutely, it's going crazy because we go to OC a lot too. So
Or you're going through the pass on the 405 and it's ding, 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 ding,
Exactly.
ding, ding.
Exactly.
It's horrible. That stretch, like going up that hill, is just like my car is
exactly what you
literally. Ding, 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 ding.
the Force. Yeah, I can fucking only imagine.
Yeah,
Are you
dude,
kidding me?
you're literally just going like this. It's the worst. Porpoising.
Yep. But you know, and that's really the fun thing about cars too that I say to people is, you know, we've been lucky or worked hard enough or whatever, you know, whatever. It's honestly, it's for everybody in our group. It's a mix of everything. You know, you had to have a little bit of luck, had to like, you know, work really hard, and then, you know, to be able to get in the point you're at. But, you know, kids come up to us and like, what's it like owning one of those? You know, this, that, or whatever. And it's like, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's amazing. But you don't have to spend $300,000 to have fun in the car. There's a very strong case to be made that you can have fun, way more fun, in a cheaper, lighter car.
Yeah.
You know, get a Miata, you know, get one of this, you know, a Lotus or an Alfa or something, you know, something that's cheap and light. You know, it's, you know, you break something, it's not, you know, this, that, whatever, you know.
Even
one of the
dare say
brake
fucking-
rotors on that fucking McLaren cost more than my first car. You know, I mean, like they're like $8,000 for a brake rotor. Like you know, for two of those, you could build a whole project car. You know, driving a slower car to 100% of its capability, I think, is just as much fun, if not more fun, than driving one of these things. You know, to, I mean, let's be real, like 70% of its ability.
Because nobody
you know?
can really push that car to 100%.
No,
I don't give a fuck
no.
who you are.
You can think you do until you let somebody that's a professional drive your car, and then you're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, then you shit yourself in the passenger seat of your own car.
Exactly.
That's the
exactly.
fucking
I've
thing.
done that at Porsche Experience Center where it's like, oh, you're ripping all day, and you're like, man, I'm pretty good in this thing, and then they let the pro guy like as the last thing, like,
You're
yeah, I'm
sitting
gonna
there
take you around, and then you're like,
You're sitting there with a propeller hat.
oh,
in
you
the
are
fucking
big,
passenger
you're
seat.
small, we're not worthy, you know.
I gotta get in the passenger seat of one of these
I'm telling you,
scenarios.
I cannot fucking wait, dude.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I'm at the point now where I'm not gonna lie to you. Everything on my brain is just towards that fucking 720.
Yeah.
I'm fully dialed. Like, we're gonna get out of here, and I'm literally just, that's all I'm gonna think about the rest of the night. I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
This is the best part. This is the honeymoon experience.
I
You
know, right?
that week before you get it, and like the couple of weeks after, that's the best.
Yeah, I'm in the divorce phase right now. My car is for sale. I've had it over 3 years. I'm like, someone buy this car for me so I can go get a V10, please.
I want a new model. I want younger models. Some less mileage, the whole nine. Dude.
Well, those are great.
Maybe not less
too.
mileage. We'll see.
Great platform too.
I know that we'll see. I'm, gonna be stretching myself to make it happen, but hopefully things start going with everything else, and then the goal would be to VF it and kind of like, so it's like, okay, it's one step up, honeymoon phase. We can re-honeymoon phase it, and then we'll do some giveaway on the channel.
We hear that, Nick? We got another customer for you.
Nick, let's get you on the podcast. Hook me up
Yes.
with a deal on a
Absolutely.
V10 R8. I know you need more marketing. No one knows about VF on the internet. You don't have enough people out there pushing the product. You could for sure use me.
Very much so. 'Cause you want
Obviously.
someone that's gonna push the R8 more than, probably the only person I know that pushes that car more than fucking build is fucking this kid right here.
Yeah,
He's
I'll push it. Just
we're gonna push the fuck out of that.
not to where I break it.
I'm gonna push it as well, which I'm very excited for.
You want to guess questions? Or
Let's do it.
roll in.
Let's do it.
So we always ask our guests couple questions. Everyone gets the same questions.
I'm very excited.
They're simple, but
I'm
yeah.
gonna judge you hard on this.
Is it a GT3 RS a supercar? Like an easy one like that, or like
no, these are a lot
Personal
more fun.
opinions, but yeah, like this is kind of how we end the show. This has been a great conversation. I want to go on this rally, but we'll see when we
see
can
if
make that happen.
Yeah.
So first up, we'll lob you up. What would you say is the most underrated car?
What's the most underrated car? I mean, can you still say Corvette? I mean, that's
You can,
like
if
the
you want.
most. I mean,
I
but
think Kiss You Out.
underrated. I don't know. Bang for your buck. I mean, like I have a C5 back home that I did up, and I haven't driven it in probably 15 years. But I mean, what a platform! I mean, I was behind a new Z06 in traffic, coming back from something over by the airport the other day, and we got into one of those tunnels, and he just ripped it, and I was like, "That's compelling."
They sound
That's
good.
compelling. I mean,
tell
the
you,
flat plane,
That's a
engine
hell of a
and,
fucking car.
Yeah.
I have one, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
I
but
didn't know that.
I have one, and that's my fucking my fucking favorite car. Like I'm hoping the 720 makes me look at it like it's dog shit, but as of right now, that's my fucking favorite thing in the world. I push that motherfucker like no other.
Yeah, but I'm a turbo guy. I love to have a car where it's like, if this isn't enough, I can go shh and
really crank that motherfucker up.
But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that that's going to be built up for those things too. I mean,
Very much
imagine
so.
slapping a blower or something on one of those for another a couple hundred more horsepower.
You really did it when you say Corvette right now for that answer, because now I'm in love with you. A. B. Okay. Think about the ZR1 when it comes out. They're literally, what people don't understand, like we've talked about this episode. Is it okay if I go on this rant right now? Because I'm going to rant.
Go on the rant. Let's hear it.
Corvette is doing, they're realizing what works now in terms of the new generation and where people are moving with cars. Okay. They're taking the Corvette, and people might scowl me for this, so I'm going to go on a limb here and say this whole thing, because this is a whole philosophy that I have. Okay. They're taking the Corvette and they're turning it into more of a 911 aspect, where they have different variations of the Corvette within one model. For like the C8, you have a base C8 that has a 6.2 liter V8, right? So that puts power down a specific way, okay? Then you have the E-Ray that has the same 6.2 but with electric motors. So now you have that car putting power down in a very unique way, even compared to just the base C8. Now you bring the Z06 that has a fucking completely different fucking motor setup, 5.5 liter flat plane crank. So now you have the ZR1 that they don't even know, they haven't even released exactly how it's going to be, but you have all these combinations of the way the car could be.
Twin turbo of the
I think it's going to be the twin turbo
engine.
Z06. And then on top of that, you're going to have the Zora eventually that's going to have the twin turbo fucking Z06 motor with electric motors in the front that's going to do 1,000 something horsepower.
Yeah, it's going to be like that Corvette SF90.
It's going to be ridiculous. So think about it, you're going to have they'll probably price that car close to 300, maybe mid twos. That's going to shit on 800,000. That's when I'm telling you, we're going to get to the point where Corvette's going to break the game. Just fucking watch.
Well, and the configuration of the car now is the point that it can actually benefit from the ZR1 levels of power. I mean, the old ZR1s,
it's too
probably
much.
ran about the same as what the Z06s were, because it's just sitting there smoking the fucking tires off.
Exactly. You're in fucking. But the thing about that old, like what the ZR1, you're talking about the C7
or even like C6.
C6, those fucking cars are ridiculous. The C7 was like literally that car is the epitome of like Corvette. Where like we did everything with our current setup and platform. This is the fucking max, because at that point you can't, like you said, you can't put power down, can't do shit.
The laws of physics kick in.
They don't fucking work anymore. Yeah, exactly. You have to move the motor to the back just for the weight.
You already can't put the 650 down in the C7 Z06. Let's just put another 100 in. Let's make it 750.
Exactly.
Shits and giggles.
Put a wing on the back and it'll fix the problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
I can't even imagine driving that car. I really can't.
I'm telling you, I'm dying. I'm actually still dying to drive that car.
It'd be an experience.
But one of our good friends is Amelia Hartford, so getting to watch her build out, that first,
I fucking
C8
followed her like a motherfucker when she got to put
everything
the twin turbos on that thing, dude. Are you kidding me? Because
it's a cool car.
That was I started the chase when the C8. So basically, when me coming up, I guess in whatever you want to call this, to get to scale to getting to the point we're at now, the C8 was just getting introduced. And it was the perfect timing for me because I grew up as a Corvette guy.
Sure.
So I was like, how pristine is it that I'm in my younger age that the Corvette is now getting redesigned to be more of a European style, sportier supercar look? I was like, let me chase this thing. So I was able to get a base C8, made all that happen, get in the 458, now have a Z06. So like I'm at the point now where I can't wait for the fucking Zora to come out, because I'll hopefully have an Aventador at that time and trade that shit in for a Zora. Yeah. So I'm at that point with the game.
And I mean, like, what a cornucopia of cool options we have. I mean, we were talking about this before we went on. Bonus points for you.
Cornucopia of cool options.
Seriously, like, I'm 41 years old, man. Like, when I was 16, like, I mean, the automotive industry was dying. Like, I mean, there was no enthusiastic cars put out from like the mid 90s through the early mid 2000s. I mean, it was like, it felt like you got to a party right when it was like ending, and we missed
Think about the Camaro gen at that time too. Like literally, it might be the worst time for cars during that time.
Dude, I mean, like the SN95 Mustang, with the 5.0, I mean, they were like 225 horsepower stock. The Z28 was 280.
For a Z28 to be 280, think about that.
Yeah, 200, like a minivan. If like a minivan had less than 300 horsepower now, today you'd be like, what the fuck?
They have RAV4s with that type of fucking power output.
Exactly. So I mean, like, I think a lot of props goes to Dodge, for going full out. I mean, obviously, the people took that and ran with it, and there's some issues with that whole community now, which I don't mean this will probably get you some extra views, but
100%.
But one of my favorite things in the world is seeing like a Dodge Demon or something creep up in the rearview mirror when I'm in the 765, and it's like, oh, this could be fun.
Like, all I gotta do is this. And then you're on the sidewalk.
My favorite thing is scrolling through Instagram and then seeing a Hellcat like just smack someone like a pitching wedge.
Exactly.
And somehow their pants always fall off.
Pants always fall off.
But they
like,
pop
why even
up.
watch if the pants
They
go
pop
off?
up every time instantly. That the adrenaline has to just be
Fucking
out of just
It's got to feel pretty
through the-
shitty the
through
next
the
morning,
roof.
though. But
the back of a car just.
But like, what's up with that? Like, what the fuck is up with the whole takeover scene bullshit? Like,
Trust me,
No clue.
The problem is it's fucking destroying car culture.
It is.
Because now you have like, for example, you have like I live in Glendale.
And cars or cops show up to every event.
Glendale PD is fucking, they're madmen.
They won't let
kidding
you
me?
do
They won't let
anything.
you do shit. I can't even just be enjoying my car very respectfully, because I'm respectful when I drive my car. I never disrespect the roads.
Neither.
Exactly. And I get fucking targeted because of the way the community is now, and they're destroying it. And they make it fun for the people that understand the responsibility that it takes to do certain things.
Yeah.
It destroys it for everybody.
And there's a time and a place. Did we do dumb shit? Absolutely, we
Fuck
dumb
yeah.
shit. But we did it like in the middle of nowhere,
Yes.
in like a parking lot, this or that, where
Dumb shit
you
tolerated.
tastefully removed yourself from the view of normal society.
Exactly.
These kids, like just like flaunting the police and doing it in the middle of an intersection, stuff like that. Like,
In the middle of the night.
yeah,
Tossing folks.
Yeah,
Literally.
and those are the ones, because they're not real car people.
Exactly.
Those are ones that scurry off into the night, and then Sunday morning
We're the ones that aren't
we're
real
the ones that eat shit because on state refs and this, that, whatever.
Yes.
And I'm lucky. Like I still have Pennsylvania residency, and most of the cars are in Montana. So when I get pulled over, they're like, like I'm not even going to bother with you. But like to be living out here full time and deal with that bullshit. Even though SoCal is like the epicenter of car culture. I mean, and it has been.
It is.
Going back to the 30s and 40s and 50s.
Fuck yeah.
To have these entire communities just cracking down on bona fide enthusiasts. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Ted and Sandrine used to do a show called Cars and Cafe down at Moulin in Newport Beach, like right over by the airport. And the cops, instead of sitting, they would sit like 2 streets down, so that anytime anybody left and did anything stupid, they were on them like flies on shit. Why can't you like move 2 blocks up and and sit in front of the show? Then nobody does any dumb shit because you're establishing a visual presence there, and then isn't that better? Isn't it better to like show yourself and cut it off
better.
at the beginning rather than
No.
just handily wait for it to, And I'm a huge supporter of the police. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
Like, and this is the one place that just kind of breaks my heart. To like guys, like like I got your back on everything. Like if I do something stupid and I get pulled over, there's nothing that irritates me more than somebody doing something fucking dumb and getting pulled over and be like, I can't believe that cop pulled me over. It's like, dude, like
Not complying and being
like stop breaking
disrespectful.
the law, asshole.
Exactly.
And you won't get So it's like we play this game. What do they say? It's if it's punishable by a fine, it's not illegal. It's legal for a price.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is.
But pay the fucking price. When that when your name gets called, and you get caught doing something dumb, don't bitch at the cops. It's like you take your shit. And 9 times out of 100, or 99 times out of 100, if you're decent with the cop and respectful, I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have a better outcome anyways.
Yeah.
The people that are screaming and yelling, like, I can't believe, like, fuck you, I can't believe you pulled me. I was like, well, you're doing 140 with, open headers.
And also your
170
tint,
decibels.
and also your exhaust, and also this, and I'm going to give you everything I can possibly
absolutely.
find.
Yeah. Now, the guys that aren't causing any shit whatsoever and are just pulling out of a car show, and you're going to nail those dudes, like, that's when it's like, are you really, making the community a better place?
No, not at all.
When you do that.
They're doing
you're,
it's a double-sided
checking
sword.
a box.
Yes, 100%.
Like,
They're just trying to hit a quote at that
you're
point.
pissed
too.
at car guys, the chief or the mayor, whoever said go crack down on car people, and this is what it turns into, which is a
terrible.
shame. I mean, it's a real shame. I mean, Malibu Country Mart used to be an amazing show, and not that
Right.
the stupidity really shut that one down. I think
Right.
it was just too many people and some bitchy ass Malibu assholes. But
That's it.
Nonetheless, I mean,
That combination will fucking do it.
but we'll always find a way. We'll find a way. You find a more discreet way to to go about doing what we've always done. And, if you fly under the radar and you don't start shit, then, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be fine.
The answer is very simple. Just fucking attend LongTail Rally and have the fucking time of your life where you're in a safe and controlled environment where you can do the dumb shit with people that are down to do the dumb shit in the right environment.
Exactly.
Well, there is something to be said for that. If you're on our rally and you get pulled over by yourself doing something dumb, you're probably going to eat shit.
Absolutely.
But there have been so many times when, there'll be a group of 20 of us, and they'll get in front and do the weavy thing and shut the whole traffic down. Or, they're following you for a while, but they're not throwing the lights on, so we all preemptively pull over or whatever. And you're respectful. And 9 times out of 10, it ends with us taking a selfie with the cop. Because again, there's just, they think that you're going to be like these snooty assholes. And when you're just like, hey man, we might have got a little too spicy there for a little bit,
Right.
But, generally speaking, everybody here is decent, good, or, you play the whole, that was the other group of people that was way ahead. The fast group, we're the slow group.
We're
That's
the calm
why,
one.
we're the normal people.
Exactly.
You just happen to run into us. And, again, 9 times out of 10, they're not out there looking to crack skulls. They're just, trying, these guys scrape people off the highway. On a weekly basis. I have families that are in EMS and, first responders and stuff. And some of the stories are
insane,
pretty awful. So, you can understand why, they have a very practical reason to, be like, hey, you know what, we love what you guys are doing. We appreciate what you guys are doing. These are fun things. You want to have fun with them, but please do it in a reasonable fashion. Right. So, that's one of the things on our rally, we try and keep the dumb shit limited. We're dialed back. I call it 70%.
Yeah.
When I'm in the canyons, I don't go more than 70%. I don't ever want to go around a turn where if there's some guy on a bike that fell over or something like that, or a rock or this or that, if you had to stand on the brakes, you're not going to end your life by making that decision or end somebody else's life.
The way that I describe it, and I tell him and I tell Benji, is literally it's the mentality of understanding that we're blessed to be able to do the things we're doing, but live to fight another day to the point where you don't abuse the blessings that we have. Because we drive around, I'm not gonna lie to you, the number one thing, we talk about this all the time, our favorite thing to do is when we're in the middle of going all these places and doing all the things we're able to do, is just being able to drive our cars, the 3 of us, together.
Yeah.
That's the most enjoyment we get out of all this stuff. So I tell them, it's have fun, but at the same time, understand the back of your head that don't push it too far to the point where we can't do this again.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Don't tempt the car gods too much.
Exactly.
Like when you go really fucking crazy for a little while, and then you just get your karma back in line. It's like, I'm just going to drive the speed limit for the next half an hour.
Weigh the balance of it.
Exactly.
Especially in a McLaren.
Balance.
Especially in a McLaren. Let me beat it up, but then let me respectfully drive it so it doesn't take shit on me.
Exactly.
All right. So we had the most underrated car.
Yes.
So what's the most overrated car?
See, this is a fun one, isn't it? Most overrated car.
Most overrated car. This is the clickbait of the episode.
Yes.
This is always like, hey, we don't have enough clips for this week. We can always pull the most overrated car. That'll start some conversations.
It's tough to find one that's really bad that just completely sticks out.
I got one right here.
You got it's not.
Well, here, why don't you guys tell me yours, and I'll.
It doesn't have to be like a bad car, right? It's just it's just overrated.
I mean, maybe stock Huracan. I mean,
I respect that answer.
A stock Evo or a stock just
LP610 bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great platform. I mean, it does everything really, really well. But if you're trying to be King Dick Fast Guy, and you've got a stock Huracan, you're gonna have some heartbreak. Yeah, very much so. You're gonna learn a lot of really hard lessons.
Yeah. Especially when I pay
really
less for my
fast.
720 and I walk you, that's gonna be the fucking worst.
Exactly.
Thing. I don't want to hurt someone.
Walk.
Yeah.
Walk.
Walk.
Get walk.
People beat up on the the Porsches just because GT3 RS and straight line acceleration. There's a lot missing there if you're comparing a 765 against an 911 GT3. But as far as a pure track weapon, something that you can drive every day, but still take it to track, swap out, put some race tires on it, and just have an incredible machine. I think I think it fits that bill. But for me, driving in a GT3 RS after being in a 765 with 300 more horsepower, it's just kind of you know. But then again, when you're out on a track, the least important thing and the least fun you're having on the track is when you're under full acceleration on a straight. You know, it's about the turns, it's about the braking, it's about, you know, everything other than that. Yeah. So, you know, I think the McLaren, I think, is just a full package because I mean, it, you know, you can hit the gas and it just, you know, you've got that, you know, holy shit, this thing's fucking fast. But you still got, you know, the turning and everything. But, you know, I think for the, you know, that's another wonderful, wonderful platform, you know, is the Porsches. I always tell everybody this. I don't own a Porsche. I've never owned a Porsche. But if I can only own one car, it would be a 911 Turbo S. Because it has the comfort, but it also is going to have, you know, the turbo engine with the, you know, the fast 0 to 60, you know. So I think it kind of does everything really well. Doesn't do anything. It's not the best at anything, but, you know, it's like a 95% level on basically everything.
It's the full-blown housewife, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, you could drive that car every day.
Full-blown housewife.
As your only car and be
cooks
okay
your meals,
with it.
fucking folds your clothes, does everything. But sometimes, man, you just want...
lady in the streets and, you know, a little bit of freak in the bed whenever, you
want that little headache. You know what I mean? I want that drive me fucking crazy, that type of shit.
Yeah, you know, I got a couple of issues that just, you know.
Yeah, that just kind of keep me up.
Keep it spicy.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Keep you entertained.
Keep me on my fucking toes just a little bit.
Okay, so the last question, you've got to build a 3-car garage. That's all you get. You get a 3-car garage with unlimited funds.
Unlimited funds.
Unlimited funds.
Yep.
If you want a McLaren F1 to be one of your 3,
well, I mean, it's gonna have to be.
I mean,
the McLaren F1. I mean,
that's your prerogative.
I mean, was it for like 20 years? It was like the fastest production car. I mean, like to have something like that, you know, even with the BMW engine and like, you know, just everybody kind of coming together to build this thing. Like, I mean, you see one of those out on the street, there's not a whole hell of a lot that you know is gonna really, you know, push that. I think something, you know, in the F40, F50, you know, I mean, those are just, you know, amazing cars. But, you know, if you're looking for the older school kind of flavor, you know, I think the, what's the Ferrari hypercar? The
LaFerrari?
LaFerrari, yes. It was right there in the fucking name.
The Ferrari. You know?
what's that one called?
Just translate that to Spanish and you nailed it.
Yeah. Exactly.
We're done.
I think that's one of the most beautiful cars that's ever been built.
Agreed.
I mean, you see one of those things, you're just like, you're instantly 8 years old again.
They're gorgeous.
Just like, holy
immediately
shit.
aroused.
They are gorgeous.
Within seconds.
Yeah.
Within seconds.
So I guess, you know, maybe something like that. And
so we got a F1, a LaFerrari.
F1, LaFerrari. I mean, total, you know, really controversial choices.
Now you got one left.
But then you got to go. I mean, then you got to go something old school. You know, something like an old Aston Martin, like, you know, an old like James Bondy kind of, you know,
like an old DB5,
you know, or something like that. Or, you know, what's the Gone in 60 Seconds? You know, he's like, I'm not looking for the new money Ferrari. It's like, I want the one that, you know, the classic, you know, that, you know, people know I'm not a, you know, just a new money douchebag kind of, you know, like I bought this off the floor because it was the coolest, newest thing.
Exactly.
You know?
So which one are you taking to Ralph's?
What's that?
Which car are you taking to Ralph's?
I'm taking the Bentley. I'm taking the Bentley to Ralph's.
In this garage that you're building, though.
Oh, in the garage.
So you have one slot left. So you got this is like if you woke up tomorrow and this is your 3-car garage from
you can only get
money
3
and everything.
and you can only get 3 cars.
You got an F1, a LaFerrari. What is the 3rd car?
6x6 G-Wagon. Come on. No bullshit.
Mike, what beautiful taste you have, my friend.
That would be a fun car.
Beautiful taste.
Those, I mean, some of those.
That'd be a challenging car.
The Rezvanis, I think Rezvani with what they're doing with some of their kits is really interesting. They're one of our sponsors. They brought one of their great big giant tank cars on our thing last year. I think one of those would be interesting, but man,
when you see one of those on the road, it's pretty wild.
It is.
If that Bentley had a bigger back seat and a little bit more trunk room, I mean, for a daily, I couldn't really think, you know, it's a bit of a smush when you're trying to put 4 people on that thing. But I mean, you know, it's a 2+2 at the end of the day, you know, it's a GT car. But man, it's just so smooth. Everything in it's so nice. It works. It's just, you don't have to think about it. And it's just all the modern conveniences and not quite as flashy as like a Rolls Royce. You know, the Rolls, I mean, they're great. I mean, maybe someday, but like when I'm a little older, but you know, I just, you know, I feel like I'm young enough now that like I don't need to get the full on, like luxury retirement. I'm 65 years old with the 22-year-old sugar baby
Right.
hanging out on the side of it.
Right,
Like
100%.
apparently everybody
Yes.
in Beverly Hills and Hollywood.
There's a
does.
package. There's a
But,
starter package.
Yeah, you get the starter
There's
package.
a starter-
Yeah,
there's a
I'm
starter
not.
package.
I don't think I'm ready for that yet. So I mean, I think the Bentley is the perfect compromise.
We're on the way there, though.
Orange,
I'm on the way
nice,
there.
nice dark
believe
spray
me, the
tan.
gray, the gray hairs are. Yeah, we're on the way.
We just need a much thicker spray tan on you,
Exactly.
and
Some gold chains
That's it,
and
yeah.
yeah,
very
you
much.
need like a big collar shirt with the cuffs rolled up,
Yes.
different fabric on the cuff.
I'm just a simple Pennsylvania boy. This is all so foreign for me.
Fucking blessings.
But no, I mean it's finding guys like you out here that like that really have this cut from the same cloth. It means more. And if you'll allow me a small little anecdote, I'm sure that we've already gone way long, but
hit it.
I used to, when I lived in Pittsburgh, my parents divorced. My mom moved to Ocean City, Maryland. For any of the East Coast people, it's on the ocean. So every summer I would go live in Maryland, and my brother would come up and stay in Pennsylvania with my dad. So being in Maryland, being like a Steelers, Pennsylvania, like Steelers, Penguins, like, I mean, that's, if you're from Pittsburgh,
Big
like that's a
franchises.
big part of like, who the hell you are as a person and your culture. So
Fucking
when you're,
identity.
but when, yeah, exactly. So when you're down there and you like see somebody else with like a Steelers thing, you're like, fuck yeah, go Steelers. And then I moved back to Pittsburgh and I'm like, I see things like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, go Steelers. And like, yeah, we're in Pittsburgh. Like, yeah, like, that's kind of
no
like,
shit, dumbass.
it meant so much more like being kind of in a different place and finding that connection. And that wouldn't have really meant that much in another place. And I mean, being out here, finding guys like yourselves that are like on the level, that like things for the right reasons, and are kind of cut from the same cloth. I mean, it really makes that much of a difference. And to find those people, it's really special. And that's a big part of what the rally is. Just people from all over the country, just kind of coalescing. We're all on the same page, and we all have some sort of similar story with some different variations of how we got to where we are, and we've all got each other's backs. And it's just as it goes on, it becomes more and more fun for me, because the first year nobody knows anybody. The second year it's like, okay, we went with you on the first one. Now on the fourth year, there are people that have done it every year, and it's like it's really starting to become a family. And we're blessed to have been able to have those type of people, because it wasn't anything that we did. We was 100% luck that we got such an amazing group of people. So for that, whatever is going on in the the atmospheres or whatever the car gods are looking down on us,
Very much so.
we very much appreciate it
100%.
and don't take it for granted.
Fucking beautifully spoken. I mean,
Yeah.
we appreciate you coming on and even giving us the time that you have.
Oh,
And we hope
anytime.
to fucking one day be a part of that fucking
Oh,
family.
I suspect that you will.
Yeah, 100%. I would fucking love it.
Because we're way more about making sure the right people are here
Yes,
than
very
the
much
money and this and that and everything else. So
Yeah.
yeah, we will we'll definitely find a way to get you guys involved.
Fuck
And
yeah.
congratulations on the 720.
Hell yeah.
Good luck on your car sale. I'll
Thank
be looking
you.
for you and whatever your next thing is. And you got a great podcast here. I've been watching it, and just keep doing what you're doing, guys. I love it.
Fucking
Thank
thank
you.
you, Mike. I appreciate it very much.
Follow, go find is it LongTail Rally?
At LongTail Rally.
At LongTail Rally on Instagram. You follow
Good
along.
memes.
Great
Good
memes.
on that page. From one meme to meme
From one memer to another. Good memes on LongTail Rally. You can keep up with what's going on over there. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much, guys. Keep it up.
That's a wrap.
We're out.